Mr. Chairman, Mr. Edwin Tong shared how we are forming a cohesive Singapore Tapestry. I will focus on three threads of this tapestry: our youths, our culture of care, and our identity. This Thursday, 11th of March, will mark 1 year from the day the World Health Organization declared COVID-19 outbreak a pandemic. While no one has been spared the effects of the pandemic, our youths have felt its impact particularly keenly. They are coming of age in a world which changed, just as they are beginning to make sense of it. As one of our youths shared passionately, and I quote, "COVID-19, you have taken away many conveniences and deprived us of physical contact with our loved ones. But through this adversity, you have steeled our resilience, resolve, and determination to see to it that we rise above it all." Steeled our resolve. Our youths are not strawberries in a pandemic. They are emerging from the pandemic more resilient and, aided in part by the unprecedented support measures by our government, they have thrived. But the storm is not yet over, and the future is uncertain, and our youths are asking the question, what next? Mr. Chairman, I've spent plenty of time with our youth this past year, and we've wrestled with this question together. Let me share how we've been journeying with them to confront the question of what next. When I chat with our youths about their hopes and worries amidst COVID-19, they tell me that they care deeply about 4 issues. First, jobs. Second, mental well-being. Third, support for the vulnerable. Fourth, environmental sustainability. Let me first share about the jobs and mental well-being aspects. Now, our youths want good jobs, and they want to learn new skills. Last year, our government launched the SG United Jobs and Skills Package to provide traineeship opportunities. We are enhancing this package, including raising stipends for diploma and ITE SG United traineeships positions. MCCY and NYC are also complementing these national level efforts to help our youth be future ready. And as the Honourable Daryl David mentioned, youths are digital natives, learning on the fly and keeping a furious pace with and even setting tech trends. As they do this, NYC is creating opportunities for them, such as through our youth tech programs, where up to 1,000 youths will develop digital skills, including content creation, digital marketing, and data analytics. They will apply these skills in the real world by working on digitalization projects in organizations. And our students from institutes of higher learning can join our Youth Core internship scheme to gain work experience in the social and community sectors, develop leadership and project management skills, while giving back to the community. For example, Mohammed Danish, who interned with the Brahm Center as a volunteer coordinator, working on volunteer management and training. Danish liaised with community partners to match volunteers to their needs, forge friendships with members of the community, and gain a deeper understanding of the social service sector. Now, he has extended his internship with the Brahm Center while waiting to be enlisted to NS, and he plans to continue volunteering with them. Our youths can also prepare themselves for the future by broadening their horizons, such as through our Asia Ready Exposure Program, AEP, which provides them with short-term overseas exposure opportunities to gain cross-cultural skills. But due to COVID-19, AEP has shifted online. So I urge our youth to take up these opportunities, prepare themselves for the future of work that has arrived sooner than we expect due to COVID-19. Dr. Shahira Abdullah asked about job support measures for youths from low-income backgrounds, some of whom may have lost their jobs or may be facing other family issues. She also raised concerns over schooling youths who need to work and youth who has caregiving responsibilities. I shared how we are helping our youth prepare themselves for employment. The initiatives I mentioned earlier are available to all youths, including those from low-income backgrounds. Nonetheless, we recognize that COVID-19 has disproportionately impacted youth from low-income backgrounds, and we are working with our partners to provide more support. For example, we are strengthening access to mentoring opportunities. We believe that guidance and mentorship can help our youth better navigate challenges and opportunities. And so MCCY and NYC partners with youth sector organizations like Access to empower them to make informed career and life decisions. Employment support service providers such as Better Barista and YMCA are also providing job matching and placement services, training and support. And for schooling youths who need to work, schools proactively identify and engage students who are disengaged or at risk to help keep them in school. There are academic, social-emotional, after-school and community support, as well as financial support through MOE's financial assistance schemes and school-based financial assistance. We also understand that youths with caregiving responsibilities face additional stress and are providing them with caregiver, financial and emotional support. For caregiver support, youth caregivers may approach the Agency for Integrated Care, AIC. For financial support, they can contact our social services officers. For emotional support, they can tap resources such as Fei Yue's online counseling services. And we are working with these partners to raise awareness of support schemes among our youths. Youths also care deeply about mental well-being, and they want an inclusive and caring society where no one struggles with mental health alone. And this requires a whole-of-society effort, and PALSEC Eric Chua and MOS Sun Xueling had talked about our Youth Mental Wellbeing Network, which is key to this effort. Now, tech companies are also important partners. We are working with Facebook and TikTok to enhance community support resources on their platforms for users facing distress, and using these platforms' wide reach to foster open conversations and to raise awareness about mental health and cyber wellness. But youths themselves are equally important partners, as they often turn to their friends for support, peer support. And we are exploring more ways to equip more youth with these peer support capabilities so they can look out for their friends who may be facing mental well-being issues and provide a first line of support. So to help youth identify and navigate the myriad of opportunities available to them, the National Youth Council launched Youthopia. It's an online site to provide youth with resources, content, and opportunities around jobs and skills, mental well-being, and financial literacy. Youthopia connects youth with coaches for career guidance or trained professionals and helplines for mental health support. Youthopia has garnered over 480,000 visitors and 810,000 page views since we launched it in October. And we will continue to work with youth and the wider community so that youth, especially those from disadvantaged backgrounds, have the opportunities to thrive during and beyond the pandemic. Now, our youth also tell us that they want to have a voice and to play an active role in shaping their Singapore. As we work with them to do so, our government cannot just be here to listen, we must also listen to hear. And their diversity of ideas is a strength we must respect, cherish, and steward. Mr. Daryl David and Ms. Henny So will be pleased to know that we have been doing more to engage our youths and empowering them to take action on issues that they care about. Let me share how. We are actively engaging youths online, where they are, so that they can participate, contribute their ideas, and share their views. For example, in a pre-budget 2021 conversation that Minister Indrani Raja and I hosted in January, our youth shared that supporting vulnerable groups is one of the top priorities that our government should address. And last year, we engaged youth as part of MHA and MinLaw's review of the sentencing framework for hurt and sexual offences. The youth that we spoke to generally agreed that while rehabilitation was an important principle in sentencing, it should not be the dominant consideration in cases involving adult offenders who commit hurt or sexual offences. And MHA and MinLaw took their feedback into consideration and delivered a ministerial statement on the outcome of the review here in this House last Friday. And in our conversations with youth on Singapore women's development, they shared that they wanted more support for vulnerable women groups like single mothers or low-income families. They also raised concerns about and aspirations about women-related issues in schools, at home, and in the workplaces. And we value their views, and we will ensure that they are considered in the white paper that will be submitted later this year. Beyond sharing their views, youth also want to start ground-up initiatives and make a difference in society. We are helping them to do so with funding, mentorship and connections with industry partners through our Youth Action Challenge, or YAC. And our youth have started 16 YAC projects focused on helping our vulnerable, including families or individuals heavily affected by COVID-19, seniors, as well as persons with disabilities. So we are working with our youth to turn their ideas and voices into action. Our youth also care deeply about environmental sustainability, and they want to address issues like food security and moving towards a zero-waste society. They want to partner us in policy making. We thus started youth circles for youth leaders to engage government agencies on specific policy issues and to come up with recommendations. For example, 8 members of a youth circle with the Ministry of Sustainability and Environment, MSE, engaged stakeholders on measures to reduce food waste. This is aligned, of course, with our SG Green Plan 2030 to reduce waste and pursue sustainable living. This month, this youth circle will submit a report on a possible Good Samaritan law that promotes food redistribution for MSE to consider in future legislative changes. And this is really a good example of how our youth are playing an important and impactful part in influencing policy making. We are also partnering our youth to shape physical spaces in Singapore. At our Somerset Belt, groups have put up interactive exhibits and organized physical and digital programs, such as skate clinics and live-streamed music shows. We will also continue engaging our youth to share their ideas for the upcoming Youth Hub in Kallang, where they will get to design a vibrant space to bond and explore interests beyond sports. So I'm really encouraged that our youth are leading the way and also showing us how we can collaborate and make a difference. We can draw from their energy and embody the Singapore Together spirit to shape this place that we call home. And there is no better place to start than to care for one another. Our culture of care is at the heart of what makes Singapore home. And due to COVID-19, we launched the Emerging Stronger Conversations ESC to better understand how our citizens want to deepen this culture of care in the new normal. Mr. Mohammed Fahmi asked about opportunities for Singaporeans to continue contributing ideas and taking action. As Minister Edwin mentioned, we have set up the Singapore Together Alliances for Action, SG Together AFA, for our people to be involved. First, as part of the SG Together AFA on emerging needs and volunteerism, citizens prioritized helping seniors gain new skills to help them better navigate a post-COVID-19 landscape. For example, RSVP Singapore partnered CapitaLand Hope Foundation and Singapore Pools to establish a Smart Seniors Applied Learning Center for seniors to pick up digital skills. So we'd like to encourage our community partners to join us to design programs and tech platforms for our seniors. Citizens also recognized how donations in kind, such as masks and sanitizers, met community needs in a timely manner at the height of the pandemic. For example, Give for Good, which is a ground-up initiative, created a matching platform to match community resources and community needs. Second, we will launch the SG Together AFA on corporate purpose to work with private sector companies and partners on a national blueprint and framework on corporate purpose. This will give businesses a roadmap to measure their progress and impact as purpose-driven businesses. I'd like to invite corporates to join us and join this SG Together AFA to help build a corporate sector in Singapore where purpose is the engine of long-term profitability. But we are only just getting started, and there is more to do. Mr. Chairman, if I could speak in Mandarin, please. 文化社区其青年部一向致力于与国人携手同心，一起打造一个更有爱心和包容性的新加坡。今年我们将推出2项新的新加坡群策群力行动联盟计划 AFA， 继续与国人、社会组织和企业合作，推广关怀和奉献的精神。第一，有关心性需求与志愿服务，我们会加强对精神健康领域的支持， 为年长者提供创新学习的空间和机会，以及更有效地分配赠品给有需要的人士。第二，有关企业社会责任，我们将和企业共同制定一项国家蓝图，让企业在追求利润的时候，以企业社会责任为中心，回归社会，造福国人。我想在此鼓励各社区及企业伙伴踊跃参与这2项计划，为社会和人民尽一份力。当然，这只是个开始。文社青部将与国人同舟共济，奋勇向前。我们会继续支持由国人所发起的社区项目，一同打造一个更美好的家园。Mr. Chairman, as we shape the Singapore we want to see, it's also worth reflecting on our identity as Singaporeans. Like an anchor in a stormy sea, our identity, heritage, and history keeps us grounded. It is also the compass to help us chart our course ahead and a key thread in our Singapore Tapestry. Last year, a citizens' work group comprising a diverse group of Singaporeans explored what it means to be a Singaporean and deliberated on how to refresh content for the Singapore citizenship journey, a mandatory induction program for naturalized citizens. MCCY will incorporate the work group's recommendations, and our formal response is on our website. In May 2020, the National Museum of Singapore launched its Collecting Contemporary Singapore initiative, which will build a collection of objects and stories to remind us of Singapore's history. The inaugural theme focuses on COVID-19, and Singaporeans have responded to the public call for contributions, which is extended now until June this year. To date, the National Museum has received about 200 online submissions, and it will focus on different themes over the next few years to encourage Singaporeans to contribute objects that best represent life in Singapore in recent times. And as part of the development of the Founders Memorial, our National Heritage Board will also launch a public call in the 3rd quarter of this year for artifacts and stories related to key milestones in Singapore's independence, history, and founding values. And these items will contribute towards content for the memorial's galleries and gardens and be used to build up NHB's post-independence history collection. Mr. Chairman, in the spirit of our Founders Memorial, and as I wrap up my speech about the 3 threads that weave our Singapore Tapestry, our youth, our culture of care, and our identity, I thought it apt to quote one of our founders, late Mr. Lee Kuan Yew, whose clarion call 25 years ago resonates even more so today. And I quote, and he said, "To the young and to the not so old, I say, look at that horizon, follow that rainbow, go ride it." In this storm of our generation, all of us, the young and the not so old, are coming together to forge forward and to build a better Singapore, so that when this storm finally passes and a rainbow emerges, we will be ready to follow that rainbow and ride it towards the next chapter of our Singapore story. Thank you.